BattleBit Remastered over the past couple of weeks has broken some incredible milestones any indie developer would dream to achieve and for us that have played it, we can agree that it's well deserved. But I want to talk about what the future holds for this game and what I think could be added to make the game even better. But to give you an idea of how successful this game is, it sold over 1.8 million copies, and you can compare this to Battlefield 2042's 4.2 million, in which they sold in the first week. But along with all those sales, while they made a lot of money, it definitely hit the already low reputation. But BattleBit is consistently hitting 60,000 people per day, which as an Australian is great, because for once I have the problem of there simply not being enough servers in a region, even during the middle of the workday when I'm trying to record. And I'd say all of this is well deserved and it's great to see, but what does the future of the game hold? And there's plenty of things to look forward to, including people like myself who like tactical shooters, but they intend on adding new vehicles, and unfortunately jets is just out of the question. And I'm a little relieved actually, because jets and attack helis were the bane of my existence in Battlefield 4, but I see people saying they want an upgrade system similar to Battlefield for vehicles, and that is something I outright don't support, because if we can get skins and slight cosmetic customizations like a cope cage, I'd be on board with that. But the idea of tanks getting functional ERA, thermals and active protection and racking up hundreds of kills is something I wouldn't want. Tanks and APCs at the moment are very vulnerable with limited ammo, and I personally like the way they are. They aren't too overpowered, but they could use a slight ammo buff to 20 instead of 14, but moving on. They also want to add new game modes, and one of them that I saw in the playtest but not in the release was this money grabbing game mode. You'd have to pick up money and take it back to your base, and the team with the most money in the safe won. It was a cool idea and unique. I don't know if they took this from another game, but I can imagine the lack of cohesion could pose a problem, since trying to get people to attack and defend in some cohesive manner in the frontline game mode is already a challenge in of itself. There was also one where you have to plant a bomb and defuse it, and I haven't seen that. I don't know if it's in the game or if it just doesn't get picked, but I feel like adding in new maps and game modes should be put on the back burner, simply because the democratic process, while great, is a little flawed when it comes to picking maps in video games, since the same ones usually get repeatedly picked. I haven't even gotten a chance to play on the noob map, because one, I just haven't seen that be presented as a choice, and two, it just simply never got voted for when I played. And if you've played other games like Squad, Rising Storm 2 Vietnam and Hell Let Loose, I never or very rarely get to play as Australia in Squad, or play as the Soviets in Hell Let Loose, or pick a map that isn't Hue, Kuchi or Resorts in RS2, but actually those are mainly the good maps. But the next thing the devs want to add is new gadgets and improvements to existing ones. When it comes to the drone, I hope they improve the spotting feature, because when you mark infantry, it just comes up as a red waypoint. Vehicles get accurately spotted, and I'd like infantry to get the same treatment. And I also wish the VoIP function was transferred to the drone. I feel like flying one of these and blasting certain types of music with an anti-personnel mine on it could be an absolutely hilarious thing. And actually, one idea that just popped in my head right now, blasting Hanoi Hana would be hilarious, flying to the enemy and just blasting it as a form of psychological warfare. But obviously, if you don't like the idea of voice chat being used like this, you can simply mute the person with the press of a button. Other gadgets that might be interesting to implement would be placeable mortars, a UCAV similar to what's in Battlefield 4, and a bloody parachute. The amount of times I've spawned in a heli and just fallen to my death because the pilot didn't have the rope down has been frustratingly too much. But other things they plan on implementing is more quality of life improvements. Something a lot of people want is the ability to customize their character in the menu, and as someone who mostly plays the support class because I love the M249, I want to know if my teammates are running low on ammo, similar to how medics can see teammates' health levels. And going back to the loadouts, I hope they add preset loadouts, because if I play on a night map, I have to change a fair amount of the things such as scopes, attachments, and grenades, swapping them out for flares. The last thing I hope they work on is a defense bonus. You can rack up heaps of points by playing aggressive, playing as the medic, engineer, as well as capturing points, and this obviously leads to people not wanting to defend, and this is a big problem on front lines. They need to add a point system that either accumulates if you sit on a defensive position, or maybe you get extra points by killing enemies whilst you are within the point that you own. And the last thing that's on their roadmap is a milsim mode, which is a bold claim, and it's going to be an interesting thing to implement. I say it's a bold claim because games like Squad, Hell Let Loose, RS2, Project Reality, any game that I've covered on this channel, except maybe Arma, while they try to be more realistic than Battlefield and COD, it's kind of hard and debatable whether you'd call them milsims. They're tactical shooters, but also by doing this, you have to tweak so many things in BattleBit for it to be closer to a milsim than an arcade Battlefield shooter. For example, you'd need to tweak the recoil, the health system, you need to implement more realistic things like backblast for rockets, a suppression system, as well as drastically change the movement system, because real soldiers aren't parkouring everywhere with a heavy backpack with multiple rockets in it. But another issue that can arise, and I don't mean any disrespect, but it's an issue, and a lot of people that play BattleBit are casual players, and if you implement a milsim mode, you'd have to make great effort to separate the two modes, because I see this even in the base game of BattleBit, people complaining and saying, oh, this isn't fun, we need health regen, all these more arcadey elements, and I'd say some people that play this milsim mode will complain about it, but obviously I like tactical shooters and milsims and would love this. A thing that's sort of similar to Project Reality or Squad with the destruction this game has is something that I really want, and back years ago with the old BattleBit, they tried to make this game more similar to Squad before eventually changing it to what it is today. But nonetheless, the future of BattleBit is something you should keep your eyes out for, and if you haven't bought the game already, I highly recommend it, because really it's all anyone's playing for the time being. But I want to show you some gameplay of me using the M249 and drone striking a couple of poor souls. I also want you to like the video and subscribe, because it greatly helps me out, because I want to get to 10 billion subscribers by the end of the year. Anyways, let's get into it.
You're fucking autism.
I'm not even running the right way. I'm also going to be using... Oh, he was alive. But I'm going to be using the M249, which is an underrated weapon in my opinion, simply because I feel like since you can't use it with the medic or engineer class, no one wants to use it. However, the gun, from a statistical and use perspective, is freaking crazy. You can just lay the okay, I got killed by an M249. That's to show you how good it is. But this gun, 100 rounds in the belt or magazine, whatever you want to call it, and you can't stop it. Hey, can I get a fucking medics, man? Some of them don't revive me. But not only does it have such a high ammo count, it's just laser accurate with a good rate of fire. It's just an all-round fantastic weapon in my opinion. Well, that's an enemy. Got two. Oh, bro, he's in the doorway. He's in the doorway. Thank you, thank you. Lots of enemies right. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Gonna ruin long time, bro.
Thank you. Bro, this is absolutely crazy. Lots of enemies right, so I want to mow them down. I was gonna say those cunts, but I stopped myself. Very un-Australian of me.
Come here, Chad. Come on, lad.
I need some heals.
Yeah, roof heal. Oh, do you?
Yes, that's your job. You're a medic. Oh my god, there's so many there. Oh wait, no, I'm not bleeding. I'm not bleeding.
We're not here, trust.
They're not there. Medic, can I get a revive? Under the Geneva Conventions, you legally have to. Oh wait, this is going to be a good map to drone strike people in as well. I love drone striking people in video games. Just thought I should clear. Are there bad guys down here? Oh my god. Alright, so what you want to do is get the drone, put the mine on it. You can try and put multiple on it. I don't like to do that because it makes it a little too heavy. And then off you go. I like to try and fly low and around the flanks to avoid being detected. Trying to look for rooftops to prevent anyone from camping on them. Let's see if I can get the multi. I got him. Yeah, so when it comes to weapons, my favorite weapons are probably the LMGs. That does require me having to play as the support class, which I'm okay with. And the reason why I'm trying to level up really quickly, it's not to unlock anything, I don't really care about that. It's because I want to make an ultimate tier list, similar to the one that I did of RS2 or for RS2, which obviously, if you know, is an inspirational video from Martin Cito Pants's Battlefield Ultimate Tier Lists, which is, it was probably the most fun I've had making a video, if I'm being honest. Oh, there's so many there. Lots of them, right? Damn, not even a bloody hit marker. Peek, peek, get greedy. Oh my god. I was the one that got greedy.
The vector would be.
Nah, vector would be dope.
Thank you. Oh, they're gonna try and demolish this building. Oh, fuck. Yeah, we're fucking... We are assaulting this point. Let's get it. Oh, medic! Alright, we've got a couple of them, like, dug in, so... I think the time calls for this. Oh man, whatever that is. Oh wait, we captured it? Nice. Oh shit, they're in that building. Revive, revive! I waited for him to be revived so I could get the double. I love using the bloody drone, it's so much fun. I remember when they first added it to the playtest, I'm like, surely they let us strap some form of explosive to it. And I was trying to use it with C4 and that just did not work that well. And then I'm like, oh yeah, you can just put a anti-person. I got suicide. Was that? Oh, we're Americans, that's right.
Oh, that sucks, bro.
That's a New Zealander, if I knew. And we won. That was a pretty bloody fun game, holy shit.